Good evening, folks. Sorry about that. Sorry about that delayed start. YouTube's changed the way that it does its live streams now a little bit. Oh, look, interesting. We got 11 people watching now. All right. So good evening, guys. We're good evening, folks. Sorry about that.
I need to mute myself.
Sorry about that.
Probably
Delayed
have a
start. YouTube's changed the way it does in preview window now because I was work. So, anyways, moving on. We are having a CoC meeting, and it is March 12th, Tuesday, at about 7:15. Give it a few minutes. So, again, apologies for the late start. The subject today is we're doing a membership review of Sorka from Astral Winds. Um, so, uh, this whole situation started. I got a private message on Sunday requesting that we look into this member because they seem to be, having some issues and are driving other members away from participating in the group. And so I started the investigation by, of course, chatting with that person that was making the report and the request, and they shared their concerns. And Then I proceeded to send a wide net of messages to as many people as I could think of that are, of different groups, different levels of participation within Astral Winds. And the feedback that I got, I shared with the COC, and a lot of it. So I'm trying to avoid anything that's personally identifiable for folks. Oh, I'm sorry. I realized that the screen is frozen for folks. I need to open. Yeah, I've been moving the whole time, but the rest of the chat window is. Apologies for that. Trust me, they weren't doing anything too interesting. They're all muted anyway. So, anyways, I'm trying to avoid any personally identifiable information from the reports that were given back to me. But there's a number of things that the COC have seen and reviewed that I'm not going to share or publicly broadcast tonight. But there's some highlights that I think are still kind of important to kind of give context about the decision that we're trying to make here. And so some of those quotes, and this is going to sound like a character assassination, and I apologize for that. I don't know how else to do this. So if anybody on the COC wants to jump in there and give me any advice here briefly before I go through this, feel free to do so. But and I don't mean this to be as terrible as it sounds. But anyways, I'm going to go through it here. So some of the quotes that I got back included things such as she's disparaging to the group. Um, she's constantly a negative force, and she's super negative and dramatic. She can be abusive in private and is constantly bashing other members that aren't there to defend themselves. When members have blocked her, she's used other accounts to message them, which is effectively akin to cyber stalking. Um, she try to get this quote right. Um, she's choosing to do her manipulating and harassment outside of the park, yet her actions still cause trouble for members of the park, and it also poisons the atmosphere. She's very disruptive and just a toxic person within the group, with an amp guard. She can be verbally and physically abusive and does not understand the meaning of no means no. And that kind of burned through the list of ones that I had identified ahead of time that didn't seem too personally identifiable. So again, thank you to all those that responded when I sent you guys the messages. I know I sent them at random times, and everybody's got varied work schedules, but you all got back to me fairly promptly, and I really appreciate that. That's really helped the COC in gathering all this information as quickly as we could. At this point, I want to kind of turn it over and kind of gather the thoughts of other members of the COC before we move forward with. I think we're going to do a vote tonight, but I want to give an opportunity for you guys to jump in. And so, because of your chosen username, Victor, that's what you get for putting an A in front of your your username. You're always up first. So I'll hand it to you unless you would like to pass for the moment.
I think
So you're actually really hard to hear. I don't know if anybody else is having a hard time making out what he's saying. I know I can't really hear him. Marginally so, but I think I can understand you now. Okay, I'm gonna have to stop you. Honestly, I thought I could understand you, but it's all coming in like kind of digitized and super garbled. So I don't know if that's something that you can try to mess with on your end, but maybe we'll come back to you in a few minutes if you want to take a second to try to work with that. Doug, do you want to talk about anything, or do you want to be skipped for the moment?
I want to be skipped.
Okay, that's totally fair. So Logan, I'm gonna hand the floor to you.
I don't feel like I have a whole lot to add. I feel like we got a pretty considerable response from the people that you asked, and it's a pretty consistent response. I think people are seeing a lot of the same things and view it in pretty much the same way. So for me, it's a pretty solid picture of negative behavior, not just in a short period of time either, but really over quite a long period of time, and getting, you know, pretty pronounced sometimes. So um, yeah.
Um, Michelle, did you have anything you'd like to share at this point about your thought process, or any comments you want to make on what we're trying to decide on tonight?
I don't really have a whole lot really to think of to talk about. I think the reports that we've gotten have been pretty clear, and there's enough of them that I think we can move forward. I don't really have a whole lot to discuss.
Okay. Victor, did you maybe it was the building? I saw you moved out to your car. Um, Okay, honestly, I cranked up the volume as loud as I could on my headset, but I could not quite make out what you were trying to say. So when we get to the vote component, I think we might need a visual like thumbs up, thumbs down, kind of thing when we get there. And if you have any thoughts that you feel like you really want to share, feel free to throw them into the thread on the on the public page. All right, let me just jump over since I have it open. Yeah, okay, so people are noting that there's real bad audio on Victor's part. I think we are all aware of that at the moment. Um, no, I'm not seeing any questions at the moment, but I'm sure there's a few minute delay. So I think if I understood our intention and our plan for tonight, you guys wanted to move forward with a vote tonight, and that vote was on the idea and issue of an indefinite ban for Sorka. Is that correct? Just maybe a couple head nods. We don't have to confirm that's a full voting yes or anything. Jason, I sorry I skipped you. You've joined us tonight. Did you have any comments that you wanted to share before we move on?
No, I'm just here in case you guys want to reference historical perspective. So
Okay.
I'm a support member.
Okay, that's great. Thank you for joining us for that. Yeah, like I said, I didn't mean to skip you if you wanted to share anything, but I think we can move forward. So, the proposal then is that we're going to vote on an indefinite ban for Sorka from Astral Winds, and so I'll just start with the left. Oh, of course, video. Okay, you're back, Victor. Okay, you're popping in and out of existence. So hopefully I can get a clear answer from you. But so we're gonna vote on an indefinite ban. So thumbs up for yes, and something else for no. So Victor, if your video is still active. It looks frozen on my screen. I don't know what you guys are seeing.
I see a thumbs up.
You see a thumbs up. Okay, I see a frozen
I also
window.
see a thumbs up.
Okay, I'll hold you guys to that. Hopefully that's true. So that's one. Doug, would you like to vote or would you like to abstain? Sorry, abstain is a perfectly legitimate vote here.
Abstain.
You abstain. Okay. Logan.
Yes.
Yes, and Michelle.
Yes.
Okay, and based on what I've seen and what I've been learning, I'm leaning towards the yes myself as well. So I think that gives us the majority that we need to move forward with that. And this is something that I tend to give out to folks when I notify them, and I'm just making the assumption that Sorka is watching tonight. Based on some other conversations that I had, but it's worth noting for everybody because people have kind of gotten concerned with how we've been doing bans in Northreach, and so I want to point out there's a section in our bylaws, and that's not the admin manual, but the bylaws, the actual bylaws of our organization, and that is section 2.6.3, and that section reads, and definitely go download the file and check it out yourselves. In case you feel like I misquoted or something like that, or you just want to stare at it a bit longer. But section 2.6.3 reads, an appeal of suspension or expulsion may be brought before the voting members upon providing a written petition of 20% of the voting members. The suspension or expulsion may be subsequently overturned by at least a 2/3 vote of the voting members. And I usually throw in the note that says such a petition would need to be initiated by a regular member. So once you've been expelled from the organization, you are no longer a regular member of the organization. But you could find a friend that is still a regular member, and so it's worth noting. Okay. Michelle's providing a summary. Sorry, I just saw a chat pop up that. Anyways, if there's a significant portion of the populace that disagrees with this and wants to make a case or for somebody that's been banned, this person or anybody in the past, they can do so, and that's their right as a regular member to come in and have the populace tell the CoC that what they got was wrong, or that they disagree, or that they want to change what we've done. But based on the information that we've received, and again, not all of it could be shared with everybody publicly, but based on the information we received, we all feel comfortable that this is the best move and healthy thing going forward for the group, for Astrowinds and Northreach overall. So thank you guys for watching, and this is, I don't like doing these. It's not what I signed up to do the job for, but in terms of protecting, the organization and helping it grow, this is an important thing for everybody. So again, thank you for your time, and have a good evening. So I'm gonna, goodbye.